At a rally this weekend, crowds were chanting Nobel for President Donald Trump. South Korean President Moon Jae-in even suggested Trump should win the Nobel Peace Prize for the developments on the Korean Peninsula. Once again, it is drawing comparisons between Trump and Obama. For more on this, we're joined tonight by former Georgia State Representative LaDawn Jones and conservative commentator Steve Malzberg. Well, we are now at a very interesting point. Is the President of the United States worthy of the Nobel Peace Prize? Steve, I'll start with you tonight.
Well, according to the president of South Korea, he thinks that Donald Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize just for getting the two Koreas together at this point. I certainly believe that Donald Trump deserves the Nobel Prize if these talks go and there's fruition and success of any kind. Look, the Nobel Committee has awarded the Peace Prize last year to some group that was trying to get nuclear proliferation, get rid of it and get rid of nuclear weapons. They gave it in '09 to Barack Obama, who did absolutely nothing, who fostered a climate of peace or whatever that nonsense was. They gave it to Mohammed al-Baradei and the AIEA, who really have been ineffective, at least in their inspections of Iran, as we've seen. So they have a history of giving to people, especially when it comes to nuclear proliferation, who help or try to help or want to help. If Donald Trump gets it done, it's a no-brainer.
LaDawn, you speak to the worthiness of this, the potential worthiness of this, having been suggested by the South Korean president.
I absolutely believe that the South Koreans are completely pulling Donald Trump's leg. They know he does not have a chance at getting the Nobel Peace Prize, no matter what influence he may have had on the Korean talks. The reality is the Nobel Peace Prize does not look at one singular event. They look at the body of work. And Donald Trump has, in his own country, encouraged police officers to hit the heads of people they're arresting on their cars. He is determined that white nationalists and Nazis were good people on both sides. His entire record, both before running for office, while running for office, talking about how he would grab women, does not make him eligible for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Steve?
Well, I guess they looked at Yasser Arafat's entire body of work, the biggest killer of Jews since Adolf Hitler. Of course they look at one event. That's what they do. And that's what they did with Arafat. That's what they did with Al Gore. I don't know what they looked at with Barack Obama. But to say if there's peace in the Korea Peninsula and they denuclearize or start down that path, that's not worthy of a Nobel Peace Prize. Look, I know that they gave it to, like I said, Arafat and Gore and Obama and a list of liberals, and maybe they won't give it to a conservative president. I don't know. But if they don't, they will have zero credibility.
Well, we know one thing, is that Donald Trump is the first person to go out there and actually promote himself for this award. Which is
campaigning.
I mean, which is an entertainment moment in itself. But let's just say, moving forward, if the summit between the two presidents, Kim Jong-un and President Trump, it's successful, we have to say that this is pretty big stuff, that there's a conclusion to the Korean War and there's a denuclearization of the peninsula. Would that in itself be enough? What about that, LaDawn?
Well, so there's a difference between receiving credit versus whether you get an award for a peace prize. And maybe he does deserve credit. Look, we can't doubt that his tough talk make both North and South Korea realize that they are stronger allies on that side of the country, that side of the world, than they are being against each other with Donald Trump in office. So, his personality pushed them together. What is the saying? An enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Let's go to the House Intel report that came out on Friday. And now there's some questions about whether James Clapper actually was the leaker. Steve, if there was ever a time for the Justice Department to do something, is it now? I know that's a leading question, but the fact of the matter is that, I've stated on podcasts that I believe that Clapper was way out of line, and he has really inflamed, especially CNN, on this Russia investigation, which has been fruitless.
Ed, how many times that I've been privileged to be on your show have I said, has anybody seen Jeff Sessions? Like you said, if there is ever a time, I mean, we have Congressman Peter King earlier tonight, I heard him say that there's contradictory testimony and contradictory facts regarding James Clapper's sworn testimony again. Yeah. This would be the second time. How come he gets a pass when a guy like General Flynn, got nailed for lying to the FBI? Where is the Trump Justice Department?
LaDawn, as a prosecuting attorney, how can you not go after conflicting statements?
You have to look at everything as a body of work, and there's not a necessity that they're not going after them. They have not gone after them yet. We know this investigation has received a lot of criticism, and at this point, I'm sure Jeff Sessions, Mueller, everybody involved in investigating anything related to this White House is going to be very cautious before they put forth any further allegations or claims or charges against anyone. I think that's what they're doing now.
Okay, LaDawn Jones and Steve Malzberg, great to have both of you with us tonight. Appreciate your time.